Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to do I'm not going to call this a review because I just got this knife today, a few minutes ago. But I did want to do an overview because for a while I had been looking for a budget rescue knife. And I think it was on a SHOT Show video. I saw Kershaw came out with this Barricade and it looked perfect. So I ordered two. The MSRP is 40 bucks. I got them for, I think like 26 or 27 at Blade HQ. Took a couple days to get here. Good service as always. So shout out to them. Okay, so I opened one. So I'll just kind of go over my first impressions. And if anyone out there is looking for a budget rescue knife, this might fit the same need that you have. So here, I'll open this one up. So, made in China, obviously for that price point for what you're getting. It couldn't be made in the US or even some other countries. Okay, so what do you get? You get a knife and a little plastic wrapper, like it came out of a gumball machine. And you get a little Kershaw booklet. And I think that's it. Yeah. What's in the booklet? Glad you asked. How to open a knife. How to fold a knife. Care and maintenance. Best way to sharpen it. Limited lifetime warranty. Nothing that interesting here. Okay. So this is the one that I already opened. I've been kind of playing with it. I'm not going to review all the features because you can find it everywhere else. But I will say it's assisted opening. It's a flipper. It also has thumb studs. And I'll let you know I do not like the thumb stud. And the reason is they put it so close to the actual handle. I think you guys can see that if we're focused. It's so close to the handle that my big dumb thumb has a hard time getting in there. And it's also about the same height as the handle, which for me it doesn't make that much sense. Either make it taller so I can catch it, or give me a little room between the handle and the thumb stud. So when I try and use it, I can do it, but it takes a whole lot more effort and concentration than I would ever want to put into opening an assisted or any kind of folder. And if you put that much force down, which I just did, it basically negates the assisted opening, which is annoying. So this knife works much better as a flipper. And if you use it as a flipper, so far I actually like the mechanism. For a mid to high $20 knife, it opens nice. Locks open, feels good. It is tip down, right side carry. The clip is actually a deep carry clip, which I think is great. I actually wish every knife came with a clip that was that deep carry. Let's see. I'm trying to keep it in focus. This thing, I don't think it autofocuses. Okay, anyway, liner lock, tip down, I got that. The blade 8CR 13 MOV. It is nothing to write home about. Let's see if it says anything on here. $86.50 KAI patented. I don't know what that means. From China, obviously. It has a coating on it. I have no idea how well this will hold up to use. but again, at the price point, I don't actually care that much. So it has a couple spots to put your fingers on here. So you can hold the knife like this, and then you can also choke up a little bit and go here just from holding the knife. So on the end it has one of the carbide glass breaker tips right here, and if you're holding it, sorry, I'm a one-man operation here, so doing the camera, looking through the viewfinder and talking is real tough. So if you're holding it like this, it'd be pretty hard to use the glass breaker because your hand is basically in line with it. So I believe they added this so you could choke up on the knife, which would get your hand away from the bottom and allow you to use the glass breaker and keep your hand a little bit further away from the glass that you're breaking. I'd probably recommend using a glove if you're going to do that, but that's just my thought. Okay, so we got the blade steel type, nothing to write home about, but I mean, I find this kind of steel really easy to sharpen. The blade length, 3.5 inches. I don't know that anyone cares about the quality that much, but we can kind of see how the blade's looking. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty centered. It looks okay. I've seen worse. And then as far as blade play, maybe a tiny little bit side to side. Up and down is very tight. I don't feel it moving at all, so that's good. In the handle, you probably already noticed there is a cord or seatbelt cutter. It's basically, I'll try and get a light in here. They took two cheap blades and put them back to back and then sandwiched them in the handle. So you can see the bevel on that top blade, and then I'll flip it over and then you can see the bevel on that blade. So they basically put them back to back and screwed them down in the handle. I noticed from looking close at this, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, the blades are actually pinching one another. So there's like a little, there is a little ripple on the steel. I don't know if you can see it, but because they're sandwiched, you can see it right there if you look closely. It's basically the edge of the razor blade pressing against the back of the razor blade it's being smushed into. So I mean, the fit and finish here is not that great. I also don't see any easy way or any way to replace these blades if they ever got dull. But how many times are you going to use this to cut seat belts? I don't know of anyone who has a job who just all day he cuts seat belts and uses one of these. So I mean, this, if you ever need to use it, it's here. I'm kind of annoyed because I had some extra seat belt that I just threw out, which would have been great to test, but that's life. Okay, what else? It's 4.5 ounces, which doesn't really make a big difference to me. So my plan with this knife was to just leave it in both of my vehicles, just in case of an emergency. So I'll actually probably not be carrying this knife. So it'll be in the car just in case I need it for something, to cut a seatbelt, to break a window, to cut something in an emergency. And that's pretty much what I got it for. And for the price, I really don't think you can go wrong. So if someone asked me, would you recommend this as a rescue knife? I'd say yes, as long as you're using it in some kind of backup capacity. Because if you're going to carry it on you, and especially if you're, you know, like EMT or law enforcement, I would definitely buy something nicer. This will get the job done, but the fit and finish, the quality of it, I don't think is up there with like the Benchmades and you know, there's a lot nicer stuff with these same features that I think will just serve you better. But if you're going to get it as a backup, I'd say this is a really good deal. This is the kind of knife where you could keep in your car, and if you ever needed it for something and it ended up being dropped or lost or whatever, you really wouldn't care. So it's almost disposable at the price. That's kind of what I'm thinking about it. So I guess the last thing I'll say is this thing has high value. You get a lot for what you're paying, which is a nice, cheap, inexpensive rescue knife that can cut a seatbelt, break glass, or cut something. And if you lose it, or if you break it, or if it's stolen, whatever, you're not going to be too worried about it. So I think for my purpose, it's going to be perfect. If I get around to using this thing, I could do a long-term review. I don't know if anyone's interested in that, but let me know. All right, thanks guys. And if you have any questions or something that I didn't touch on that you wanted to know, feel free to leave a comment. All right, later.